Yes, people, what's happening? Back again with another footy talk. Savas in the building, and yeah, this is the first time catching up since the Chelsea game. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Where have you been? I feel like I've missed you, Rants. Have you missed me?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Still, it's been a minute, bro. Some proper football chat, bro. We got a lot to talk about now, actually.
Mm,
In the
mm.
aftermath of the Chelsea Tottenham game, I enjoyed it probably more than most. Do you know what I'm saying? Just in general, just the way the game went. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't happy about in terms of the game, but it's not really just that game. I think Michael Richards said it perfectly yesterday, where he said, "Yo, the game's gone," and he's a lot later than me on that saying. I think the game of football as we know it, yeah, is officially dead, and
Yep.
the thing that they're trying to manufacture the game into is something that is completely out of our control now.
Yeah. Listen, I completely agree with you. I've come on many a show and said I'm not a fan of everything that's happening in the world. Rants. Football used to be a nice, easy game, right? Football used to
Yeah,
be a game, 22 men running around, bit of grass, couple of goals either end. The rules were pretty simple. It was, was it hand to ball for a handball? Hardly any handballs were given in those days. Um, the refs got things right, the refs got things wrong. You kind of accepted it and moved on. Now, the whole the whole game is just controversy. Every
yeah,
single game is shrouded in controversy. And I don't know. I'm starting to enjoy. I know this sounds bad. I'm starting to enjoy watching different leagues. Like
yeah.
I've been to Charlton a few times in the last few weeks, and listen, the standard of football isn't great. There's no VAR.
Yeah,
It's like,
I've been watching non-league. I've been
yeah,
traveling to Essex to watch #United. I got a couple boys that play for my futsal team that play there, and honestly, I'm enjoying watching them play. There's no VAR. Obviously, the standard like it's not as great to watch as obviously
yeah,
high level football, but bruv, like I've been watching that. They've got a YouTube membership where you can watch the full 3 o'clock kickoffs as well. Like not at 3, but you can watch them at 5 when the game's done. And it's just, bro, it's a much simpler life, man.
yeah. Listen, I agree. And look, where I am in South London, I'm right in the hub of Millwall, Charlton, lower leagues. I've got Dartford and Bromley and all of this going on. And I've got loads of mates that actually support those local clubs as well. And when I pop down there with them, it's back to the days of football.
Yeah,
Like now I just feel the Premier League's descended into absolute chaos. I think if I look at the last 10, 11 days of football, it started with what Newcastle, Arsenal with the Havertz situation, and then the goal.
yeah.
Who was it? Anthony Gordon, where they looked at offside, handball,
They
was the
looked at
ball
way
out,
too many
free kick,
things.
yeah.
Bro, it's a
And then
disgrace.
you've got the Spurs Chelsea situation where there were 12 minutes time added on in the first half because literally there was no ball in play. It was just like foul after this decision, that offside goal. Yeah, and I've lost the love's gone. The kind of enthusiasm for watching games now is like, oh, another VAR, another game ruined by VAR. So yeah, man, I make you right. This isn't football as we know it. I still see people arguing for keeping VAR but tweaking it and doing this. Listen, Rats, I'd be quite happy to go back to the ref and the assistant referee doing it. And the only technology I would leave in there, if I'm brutally honest, would be
Goal
goal
line.
line technology. That's it.
Absolute disgrace, bro. Goal line
Old days.
technology is the only thing that we need, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that we need. Leave the offsides down to the linesman. Do you know what I'm saying? If you wanna make it more thorough, then have two linesmen. Do you know what I mean? Have two linesmen, one on each side. The mad thing is in futsal we have two refs in it. We have two refs, one on each side. So each of them can give a decision. If you wanted to have four linos and you just have two that deal with one half of the pitch and the other two that deal with the other half of the pitch, cool, do that. But that's way better than a flipping machine, bro. Because clearly this machine is not working, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if two human eyes say, you know what, it's too close, we'll give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, then we leave it. Forget all of this lasers and all these other things, bro. It's ridiculous. And remember in Europe when we had the fourth official, he never did anything anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He was just standing on the
Yeah.
edge of the box I've never seen it give a penalty. I've never seen a fourth official actually give a flipping penalty. Like, they were useless. They just stood there and did nothing.
Do you know what? I'll tell you, one of the things that really I find funny, but equally so frustrating, right, is you're watching these games and the rest doing this, you know, one hand's here holding the headphone, the other hand's telling players to go away, and we're all sitting around for 3-4 minutes going, what's happening? Then he blows the whistle and says, I'm going to go to the monitor. You're like, why didn't you go to the monitor in the first place? Like, what are we doing here? It's 4 people, 5 people, whatever, however many people in a VAR room look at it just to tell him to go and have a look at a monitor. Surely, if you're, I don't like any of it. I can't be clear about that. Surely you could turn around and implement a rule where they go, ref, you need to go to the monitor right now. The ref goes over to the monitor and has 30 seconds. 30 seconds to have a look. If he can't see anything in 30 seconds, which he thinks, that's massively wrong, go, right, play on. 30 seconds.
Yeah, but fuck the monitor. Are you trying to tell me we don't have the technology for the referee to just have like a device with a screen that he has on him that he can just pick it up and look at it, like, instead of running off the pitch?
Either way, but my point is, it's the 30 seconds rants. For me, it's you know, like,
you should be able to look at it on the pitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you should be able to just have something in his pouch, like a little side thing, a little side bag, and just pick up the screen and just be like, and just look at it. Like, why does he have to leave the pitch and run over there and all this bullshit? Pick it up, look at it on the screen, and then that's it. And even that, you don't even need it. Like, the worst thing about the situation is, it's like, it's unpopular, but I genuinely think that they brought in VAR to fix games. I don't believe that they brought in VAR to make the game better. I think they brought it in to influence the decisions of games. I genuinely believe that, because it's like, it's caused more problems than it's solved. It doesn't make no sense. The whole point of bringing in VAR was to mean that we would stop talking about decisions because they would be getting them right. But we're talking about decisions more than we ever have.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I believe that this was never brought in to make the game easier. I think this was brought in so they can manipulate results, bruv.
Look, I mean, look, I don't know about the whole fixing thing, but what I do know is that it's not being brought in to make the game better. No. What we've got in football, and this is why I think all of us fell in love with football as kids, right? Is it's quick, it's fast, it moves from end to end. It's not one. I'm not knocking sports, but there are sports like whatever you like, people like. It's not like a golf where there's lots of standing around. It's not like a tennis where the game stops after every point and then you have to reset. And then it's not NFL where they keep stopping. It was end to end, free flowing. There was nothing wrong with it. They've brought in VAR, and now every single game is shrouded in controversy. Every match of the day, Sky Sports News, BT, whatever you watch, is now talked about VAR more than we're actually talking about, oh my God, how good were they? How good was that goal? It's VAR. Wasn't a red, was a red. It's like, man, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get to the point where people will stop watching because games are now just getting really, really boring. Every fan thinks their club is being victimized. Yeah. The funny thing about VAR, right, is this. You get fans that go, I hate VAR. The moment something happens in a game, Rants, they go, oh, VAR it.
but this is what I'm saying. It's one of them ones where I just wish VAR wasn't there, bro. I wish it wasn't an option.
I agree.
I just wish it wasn't
refs
an
get
option.
Things wrong, right? Like, let's be fair, right? Okay, let's take one of the biggest examples that involves both of our teams, Rants. Yeah, the Pedro Mendes goal at Old Trafford that was over the line. Okay.
Yeah, but goal line technology is not VAR. If there was goal line technology, the goal time, same like the Lampard one, like, it would have said, it's gone in, or it hasn't.
But this is my point. That things like that are unacceptable, and goal line technology can rule that out. That's fine. Yeah. The problem is there's too many decisions now that it's not. We're trying to make football clinical. We're trying to make sure that every little offside. Like, did you watch Bayern Munich last night versus Galatasaray?
No, because United were playing at the same time. So.
Of course. So the ball swung in from a free kick. Harry Kane has flicked the header in, and you're looking at it going, "There's nothing wrong with that."
Yeah.
But straight away, the flag goes up from the official. Now, my theory on this is that they're told to flag, even if they don't know. I think they're told to flag just so that they can check every single goal, rather than the lino going, nothing wrong with that. Harry Kane was well onside. He's flicked the header across. 2 minutes later, goal. And Kane's almost standing there as if to say, yeah, I was behind my man. Like, I don't know what the issue is. And
it's like they're almost looking for a reason to disallow the goal.
Right. And it used to be, do you remember? Maybe, God, I could be going back 5 or 10 years here, Rants. I don't know when. Do you remember they brought in that rule where it was they were going to make it so that the benefit of the doubt went to the attacker?
To the attacker, yeah, because we wanted more goals.
Right. Now the benefit of the doubt goes to everyone but the person scoring a goal. Like, when you know when they do the lines, be honest with me, I've gone publicly live on my channel and said, I don't even know the rules of football anymore. When they're drawing those lines and we're all going, that's on, that's off, I don't actually know what body part they're looking at anymore. I just don't get it. It's I think it's killing football as we know it. I truly believe it is. Truly believe that.
Yeah, football's finished, bro. Do you know what I mean? It used to be, we're supposed to be trying to make the game more exciting. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's loads of ways they can make the game more exciting. Loads of ways.
I agree.
They could make it more free flowing. They could actually change the stoppages. That instead of adding time in football, why don't you just put a clock for when the ball goes out, when you have to get the ball back in play? Like, we got that in futsal. You got 4 seconds to start the game back. As soon as the ball goes out, you got 4 seconds to restart it. So you can't have people taking ages to take set pieces and stuff like that. It's 4 seconds. Like, literally pick up the ball, put it on the line, let's go, boom. Because we got kick-ins. Like, that keeps the game free flowing, because you can't be get the ball, rub it on your shirt, all this rubbish and these guys, and then it's like, oh yeah, get down the pitch. It's like all this, and it's like, bro.
Oh, mate, they've got to do something. Like, have you noticed in all these shows now, Rants, right? They've now all got a referee. Like, we used to have football players as pundits.
Yeah, now the refs are the celebs now.
Gillette Soccer Saturday, you've got a ref in there. Was it Mike Dean? You've got the ref in there, and every time they go to it, he's got no personality for a start. No one wants to see that on TV. It's like, imagine you got a YouTuber and there's no personality. You got someone just going, yes, no, yeah, right, and he's sitting there going, oh, the main thing is that we get it right. It doesn't matter if it takes 5 minutes. What? Like, 5 minutes is a third of my half time. How are we taking 4.5, 5 minutes to turn around and go, was that a goal? Was it not? Was it a red card? Was it like, every tackle now is a yellow card or a red card. Tackle used to be able to tackle. Back in the day,
I'm saying. You can't even tackle now. Yeah, you can't tackle
Stuart
now.
Pearce, these guys, they tackled hard. Now everything is, oh, you're off. You're off. See you later, you're off.
Bro, and the thing is, listen, I'm all here for cleaning up the game in a sense of, if somebody's making a malicious intent to injure someone, then yes, by all means, get rid of them. But if somebody's accidentally like rolled over the ball or something, and you can see that there's a genuine attempt to win the ball, why is it a red card, bro?
I just don't know everything. Like, even silly fouls now. I'm seeing, little fouls where you go, yeah, it's a foul. You used to be able to foul. Now it is, every foul is deemed a yellow.
Yeah.
Like, no, players are going to catch each other. This is a contact sport. There's going to be fouls. So, look, for me, I do think they've ruined it. And, to use the Spurs-Chelsea game as an example, the game went on for like 98 minutes, I think it was, all in all. 99 minutes.
Yeah, I think even more than that, bro. Between the two halves. Yeah, because the game didn't finish till like 10:15 or something. That's
the official time it was given, right? But if you had the 12 minutes from the first half, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're now at nearly 110 minutes, and the ball was in play for 43% of that time.
Crazy, isn't it?
What are we doing here? And people like it, and I get it. People say things like, it's not VAR, it's the people running it. The problem is, with VAR, there is always a reason to look at something.
Yeah.
Whether the people get the decision right or wrong, there is always a reason for every fan, VAR. Every time a cross goes in, the players go VAR handball. The managers are screaming for VAR. It's just madness, man. Like it's madness. This is why I don't want to go to games anymore, if I'm honest. It's not a football match. You spend most of the time standing around in the cold, waiting, staring at a big screen, like at Spurs with a big screen going, VAR decision, VAR decision. It's like this isn't what you pay your money for, is it? I want to watch football.
Bro. It's actually mental, man. The game is gone, bro. Like that's what it is. Football as we know it is dead, bro. Like that's just what it is. And it's like even the Tottenham game, I was saying, there was loads of things that I didn't like about the sequence where Romero got sent off and the penalty was given. There's loads of things I didn't like about it because it was like initially the VAR was to see if the goal should have stood. It shouldn't have stood because there were 3 players offside. And then they went back 5 seconds to the Romero challenge before that. And then they decided that it was a red card and a penalty, even though the referee saw it in normal time and didn't give either because he didn't think it was a foul at all. And then, if you go back 5 seconds before that, Sterling runs into the box, he dives, he isn't touched, he falls over. The referee doesn't blow for a free kick to Tottenham and doesn't give him a yellow card. And it's like, how far are these guys allowed to go back to influence the outcome of a game? It's, you know what I mean? And it's the same with the Arsenal game as well. Like, Newcastle scored the goal. They went back to see if it was offside. It wasn't offside. Then they went back to see if the ball went out. Then they went back to see if there was a foul on the defender. It's like, bro, you've checked 3 things. And it's like, should you not just check the last thing? Because I'm assuming the other 2 things that you let go, you saw it and you didn't think there was a problem. So how far are we going back?
But this is the thing. They're trying to make, listen, as I said, they're trying to make it so clinical that every single thing we need to revisit. I agree with you. Listen, for what it's worth, I've sat here and said, I've got my show at 8 p.m. tonight where we're going to be debating whether Romero was a red card or not. Some of us think it was, some think it wasn't. I think it was a red card, but the ref's got to be getting that in real time. Listen, the officiating is rubbish. VAR is rubbish. The rules now are rubbish. The handball rule is the worst I think I've ever seen it now.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Like what this rule about whether the ball is out of play or not, and the curvature, and I mean, when did football become this complicated, Rants? Like, sure, like, I just don't get it. That Arsenal game, they looked at what was it? It was right. One was the ball out of play? Okay, right, we've cleared that up. Let's move on. Was it handball? Okay, we've cleared that up. Was it offside? We've cleared that up. Was he pushed in the back? Why don't we just say we don't want people scoring goals anymore? Right?
Yeah, literally.
We don't want you scoring goals anymore. We're going to make this as difficult for you as possible. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough to watch. I'll be brutally honest. And you don't get this in other leagues. You don't get this in other leagues or in the Champions League. I'm not saying they don't get things wrong,
but it's a lot less.
Never takes this long.
It's less likely that they're going to get things wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of the Italian league and Serie A, and their decisions are like that. Their decisions are very, very quick. And I was watching the goal show the other day on BT Sports, where they have a couple of the Italian pundits, and they were saying, look, the Italian referees are using the literal sense of, if it's not clear and obvious, we're not going to look and look and look and look. They're very much, I can't see anything. I've looked for 30 seconds. Play on. We're almost like, right, I don't think it's a foul. And you've heard this. You know, when they released the video, the audio, they're like, okay, that's not offside. Okay, could you just check it from your angle and from this? It's like, oh my God, what are we
bro,
doing
these men are going on like they're doing forensics, bruv. It's a football match.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
This isn't the court of law, is it?
Yeah.
This isn't, have you murdered someone or not? And we need to get this.
Bro, it's crazy. It's a football match, bruv. These men are literally, they're going on like they're doing something scientific here, bro. Like, it's not that deep, innit? Like, It's crazy.
Oh,
Like,
man.
and that's why even the Romero thing, I see people saying it's a red card and that. Like for me, it's like by the letter of the law, from what they're saying, the letter of the law, anything that is seen as dangerous is a red card, regardless of intent and all these other things. The way I've seen it is, yeah, this guy has won the ball cleanly, and he's decided I'm not gonna pull out. I'm just gonna follow through, and I'm just gonna leave a bit on someone. Like me personally, like I don't know. I'll give him a yellow card. Because I'll be like, you know what, you won the ball, but it's excessive. Like, you don't need to do all that extras, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm not giving a penalty because it's not a foul, but I'll book him anyway. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, when I'm looking at this, yeah, it's like, you've given the red card and the penalty. So you've punished the team twice. And to me, it's like, is there really any need for that? Surely, if you're going to give the penalty, give a yellow. Or if you're going to give a red, don't give the penalty. It's just like, what are you doing? If you're giving a red for dangerous play, you're not saying necessarily it was a foul, but it's dangerous. I'm gonna send you off because you were being irresponsible. It was violent, but then don't give the foul because you saw it in normal time and you didn't give it. The ref was right there. If you look at the challenge, the ref was right there. He saw the challenge, didn't think it was a foul until he looked back at it in super slow motion. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's one of them ones where, like, for me, it's worse, bro. Like, bro, it's getting worse every week, bro. Like the handball rules the same, everything's the same. None of us know what the rules are, innit? Like, and if my thing is, if it's super dangerous play, yeah, then surely dangerous play takes precedent over everything else on the pitch. If you're a referee and you see something that's deemed as dangerous that could potentially hurt someone, you stop the game immediately. You don't play an advantage. Do you know what I mean? And I had the same problem. With one of my futsal games. One of my players got sent off for a 2-footed challenge. He won the ball completely, but they said, you know what, it was dangerous play, but they allowed the advantage to go on, yeah, and then the other team scored. Do you know what I'm saying? The other team scored, and in futsal, what happens is you get a red card, yeah. What happens is it's a 3-minute sin bin, or when the other team scores, you can bring a player back on. So the refs played the advantage, the other team scored, and then they sent my player off. And then they said we can bring someone else on because the other team scored. It's like, if it's dangerous play, you do not play an advantage, bro. There's no advantage to someone nearly getting their leg broken. If you're trying to police and keep everyone safe, as soon as someone does something unsafe, you stop the game.
Look, I'll have to. I agree with you on that aspect. I'll have to. I need to be true to myself. I do think it was a red card. I do. Unfortunately, I think this is in Romero's game. I've had this conversation a million times with Spurs fans who think that this guy is brilliant. I think he's a good defender who's a liability, and he's got that Rash gene in him.
Yeah,
but
he has. I'm not disputing that, but forget it's Romero though for a second.
No.
That's what people need to do.
I know, but I'm saying whether it is or it isn't, right, is one thing. The other thing you made the point is right. If it is a dangerous play, and if the ref thinks it is, then you stop the game there and then. This is where everyone gets frustrated with the rules, Rants. There is zero consistency from game to game. That very same thing will happen this weekend in a game. And the rule, what they'll do is they'll blow the ball, the blow for the foul, but the ball will drop to someone on the edge of the box who scores a legitimate goal, and they'll go, no, I pulled it back. And they'll say, well, hang on, we didn't get the advantage. You know, and that's where all fans are sitting there going,
no, but if you're going to send someone off,
what are the rules?
Stop the game immediately and send them off. You don't need to play an advantage because it's a red card.
No, I agree. But this is what I'm saying is you've got to do one or the other. It can't be this ref does this, this ref does that, because that's where fans go, hang on, what about that game incident? What about that? And you hit the nail on the head. The worst one, how they have managed to make such a simple rule so complicated in the handball rule is unbelievable. Back in the day, to get a penalty, you literally had to have a bloke go, you know, sorry, I know you can't see that in the camera, but, you know, boom, oh, the ball's going in, I'll put my hand up. Now, you've got people with their hands there, their arms by their side, and refs going, handball. It's like, ref, where am I meant to put my arms? What, you know, that's an unnatural position. Well, an unnatural position as a defender, if I'm going to ground to block, I don't go to ground with my arms stuck by my side. If I ran up to you, I know you're sitting down. If I ran up, actually, even if you're sitting down, Rants, if I run up to you now and push you really hard from the right-hand side, right, your left hand naturally goes out to stop your fall.
100%, yeah.
Right? If I walk up to someone in the street and push them, they don't go down with their arms by their side. Right?
No, they don't. The natural position is wherever your arm goes. Like, your arm's there to counterbalance whatever your legs are doing. You can't run with your hands in your pocket. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you can't run. No athletic movement can be done without your arms and your legs working to balance your body. So if you're jumping, you need your arms. If you're running, you need your arms. If you're turning, you need your arms. You need your arms all the time. So
of course you do.
When a player's pushed, like even when I saw yesterday, we got given a penalty that was never a penalty. Harry Maguire's literally headed the ball, onto someone's hand, and he's less than a meter away from him. Like, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah,
where's he meant to put his hands?
You know, it's like those ones. Look, for me, this is why I'm always at loggerheads with my own Spurs fans, right? Because I don't care who it happens against. I hate seeing bad decisions. I don't care who it's against. I want to watch football play properly, and I hate it. Think of centre halves that put their body on the line. I'm talking the likes of John Terry, who he'll throw himself in front of anything. Naturally, when you throw yourself in front of anything, your arms aren't going to be by your side. So now defenders that are taught when they're young to throw your body on the line, no, that's going to be a penalty. Equally, this is the example I always use. This is the worst example, right? As I always say, I used to work for Charlton, right? And I always used to study watching the coaches and what they were coaching, the different defensive drills and the attacking drills. And there was one coach that always coached fullbacks on how to jockey their man, right? How to defend crosses coming into the box. What is your body position as that happens? And the body position for a fullback, if you're coming down the line to whipping a ball, my body position isn't square onto you like that. My body position is I am side on because I'm trying to stop the angle. To be side on, my arms are naturally not going to be by my side. What players are doing
you have
now,
to prepare yourself to sprint and a change of direction.
Right. But what's happening is now a cross is whipped in from a yard away, hits somebody's hand, and they go, penalty. And people now love it. People go, a natural position. What does that mean?
Yeah, but what is your hands behind your back a natural position? Unless you're under arrest, like it's not a natural position, bro.
Or Noel Gallagher. You know what I mean? Unless
that's what I'm saying. Like hands behind your back, bro. That doesn't make sense, especially not in an athletic situation. Your hands are not going to be behind your back. Do you know what I mean? You use your arms for balance when you're playing football. If you jump up for a header, you use your arms for balance. When you're sprinting, you use your arms for balance. Everything you do, athletic, whatever your legs are doing, your arms are doing. Like, it doesn't make sense. So this unnatural position thing, like, what is an unnatural position? An unnatural position in football, if you're defending, if I do this and I make myself as big as possible like a goalkeeper, cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Then, all right, but that's an unnatural position. Like, if I'm purposely making myself wider.
I'll tell you one that makes me laugh is naturally, right? You know when people do that, right? Naturally, as a
that is a natural position.
Right? Yeah. If you throw something, I don't care whether it's a punch, I don't care whether you throw a loaf of bread at me. If you throw something at me, my natural position is if I see it with a second, I'm like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And so when people are like that and it's like, oh, handball, what do you want them to do?
It's not a handball though. What? Just take it. Just take one flash right in the nose. Like, that doesn't make no sense. It's the most natural position. Is to put your hands in front of your face and protect your face when the ball's flying there. That's not a handball. When players used to stand in the wall, they used to have their hand over their nuts, bro. Like, it's a natural position because you don't want to get hit in the nuts, bro.
Yeah, of course you do.
Do you know what I mean? Or you might have one hand down there and they might have one hand here because they don't want to get hit in the nose, Like, that's a natural position. When you're standing in the wall, you don't want to get hit in your face. You don't want to get hit in the nuts. So the natural position is to put your hands where you can protect yourself. That's not a handball. If I'm in the wall and I'm jumping up and I'm doing that, cool. It's not a natural position. I'm trying to block the ball. But the point is, it makes no sense. When they talk about natural and unnatural positions, there's very few unnatural positions, that aren't extremely obvious. You can tell when a player's trying to stop the ball with his hand because there's intent on the hand movement and the change of direction of the body and all these things. It's very obvious. You can't handball the ball on purpose and make it look like it was an accident. It's very difficult to do.
The thing is as well, right, is like when you slow down a freeze frame of a defender defending, right? If I am running across at speed to close someone down, at some point my arms are going to be out. So if you take a freeze frame of the very moment the ball hits my hand and they go unnatural position, watch it in full speed. It's just somebody running. That's not unnatural. You naturally run. And somebody in your chat has made me laugh. Two comments made me laugh. Someone said, Thiago Silva has mastered hands behind his back. Well, one, he shouldn't have to. But the best one that made me laugh is Internet Vegetable saying, handball used to be simple. Even kids in the playground could understand it. Now you need a degree in human anatomy.
It's true. When we was playing in the playground, we knew what a handball was and what wasn't. And it wasn't even an argument.
Yeah, someone would go handball and you'd go, oh, shut up. It wasn't intentional. And you'd
That's
go,
it. You play on.
Play on.
Facts.
Oh, man, it's, but the problem is the fans have started buying into all this crap. Fans are starting to convince themselves now.
No, but fans are just using this to get one up on their rivals. Really, they know it's ball.
Sure.
They know it's ball, man. Do you know what I'm saying? They really know how bad it is. But what they do is, like, they're just saying, oh, yeah, it's this. It's just like the Rashford red yesterday. People turning around saying it's a red card, because it didn't happen to their team. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when players are getting sent off, for standing on someone, accidentally, it's just like, all right, cool. Like, this is dead now. The game's gone, innit? Like, it's not a no-contact sport. Football's never been a no-contact sport. So now you're getting sent off for trying to put your body between the man and the ball and just clumsily standing on an opponent that you didn't really see. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, man. Do you know what I mean? Book him, give him a talking to. If you want to book him, give him a talking to. Tell the ref just tell him, listen, do you know what I mean? That was like, watch out, innit? That was a bit clumsy and that's it. Red card for that. Do you know what I mean? If I'm getting sent off in the modern game, I actually want to do something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
you want to commit assault. Right?
I want to commit assault. Bro, if you're going to send me off, bro, I need to leave with... the player needs to leave with me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the way I see it is, if you're going to send me off...
He's on a stretcher.
He's on a stretcher. Then we're both not playing. Do you know what I'm saying? But if I'm going to get sent off for something like that, it's just like, nah. I feel like I have to assault someone on the way off the pitch to get my red cards worth because it's just not making sense to me.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Like, it's well and truly gone. The number of times you are seeing players now that get 2 yellows, and both yellows are like, oh, it's a bit wishy-washy. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to send someone off, they must have done something. Like, the days of a professional foul, someone's striding through on goal and you just come in and wipe their legs out.
Yeah, bro.
Now it's, oh, he clipped him in the halfway line. Yellow. Like, what? What's that? Back in the day, can you imagine the players I grew up with? No team would have finished with 6 men on the pitch.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, it'd been
it's just madness, man. But listen, I'll get called old, and you'll be told that we'll be told that it's nostalgia. It's when football flowed, free-flowing football, man. Now is look, I've got no doubt something will happen in tonight's Europa League or Conference League.
There'll be another talking point,
right. And then I've got no doubt something will imagine these decisions happen in a World Cup final. Right.
Funnily enough, the officiating is always way better in the World Cups with these foreign referees, bro. It's like our referees here just can't get it right.
Oh no, I agree. But can you imagine though, Rants? Can you imagine that you're 0-0 in a Champions League final, right? And the ball comes across, little flick headed in, and they're looking at these lines and this and that, and you've got the whole world watching, and they're trying to work out, is his shirt so baggy that it's hanging over the little line? What are we doing?
It's a joke, isn't it?
It's crazy. But
it's a joke. The game is gone.
Yeah, the game is gone. Yeah. you want to talk about Spurs v Chelsea?
Bruv, we have to talk about the high line in it because I thought it was brilliant. Like I'm hearing that you weren't happy with it. That's
Oh,
what they're
hated it.
saying. I thought the high line. I thought the high
who's
line
saying
was
it?
great. And the reason now the people in the chats was saying it
Oh,
on
I
the way
see,
in
I see,
because
yeah.
they saw me. They were in my watch along. They saw I was enjoying it. You weren't enjoying it. Obviously, it's one thing being a Spurs fan not enjoying it. The reason why I enjoyed it is the same reason why Man United went down to 10 men yesterday and capitulated. Yeah, and they didn't try and do what Spurs done, and we still got well beat. Do you know what I'm saying? And apart from a penalty that we got, we conceded 4 goals. We conceded 4 goals with 10 men. And it's one of them things where I liked what Ange did, yeah, in terms of what it symbolized, because it symbolized that he's got a style of play. The guy's he's gonna down his principles. 1, 2, the players have bought into what he wants them to do to the point where they're just doing it. They're not questioning it, because as a player, naturally, when you lose 1 man, let alone 2, your natural instinct is to retreat. And they didn't do that. They played with a certain amount of swagger and confidence. Even though they had 9 men, they were still trying to score. And they nearly did. Because Son could have got the goal to make it 2-2. And then Eric Dyer's goal got disallowed as well. Do you know what I mean? Which was a close one as well. And it's like, their mentality was that, listen, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter where we are. We're going to play our football. And that is the mentality of a big team, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Instead of cowering, because if you sat back, you probably would have lost anyway.
Sure. Right. Let me counter that. Let me tell you why I thought it was one of the worst managerial decisions I've ever seen in my life. Right. Let me use, for example, I'll use this screen, right? Let's say my hand to my hand is one half of a pitch.
Yeah.
Right. And this is my goal.
Yeah.
Spurs normally defend about here. We play quite a high line. Right? I've got no problem with that. It works. 11 men. You've got Van der Ven's pace. Well, we haven't now for 3 months, but got Van der Ven's pace. Cool. Do your thing. Got no problem with Ange's tactics. Love it. Now, what happens, as we know, this is the thing that makes me laugh. What happens is, and I was having this conversation with Terry Flewers yesterday on his show, right? Is most teams that defend here, what they do is they go down to 10 or 9 men and they retreat 10 or 15 yards.
Yeah.
Right? Postecoglou didn't even stay here, Rants. He didn't even stay here with his high line. He doubled down on that bad boy and said, you know what? This line isn't high enough. He doubled down, put everyone on the halfway line, and literally said to Chelsea, just have chance after chance after chance. But
technically, that's not what he said, though. That's not what he said. Because think about it, tactically, this is what
happened.
No, but this is what he done. Look at this. Tactically, we're playing 11 versus 11 on a pitch.
Yeah.
Cool, it's equal. Now it's not equal no more. It's 9 versus 11. So the best way, to stop teams from attacking, is to kill their attack at source. So what Ange done was said, I'm going to split the pitch in half. And we're going to play 9 versus 11 in Chelsea's half.
Yeah.
So what he done was he made up for the lack of extra players by trying to make the pitch smaller. It actually made sense. The only problem was, when you play a system like that, what you do is you use your defense and the offside trap as a defender. That's just all he did. So he said, you know what, we don't have the players. We're going to rely on how good we are on the offside trap, as we're going to use the linesman, we're going to use the offside trap as an extra man. And we're going to try and keep Chelsea as far away from our goal as possible. So we're going to encroach on them. Do you know what I mean? And
I get it.
It's a tactic that can work. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get it. But Rants, there's a few things that people don't need to remember here. Now I'm going to show you a picture, right? I'm going to show you a picture. Right?
Yeah.
This picture, if I showed you that, you would think that Chelsea 4 in blue, nearest you, is a back 4, wouldn't you? You would think that's the Chelsea back 4. And the
technically, but I would also think that they're all offside, so they're doing exactly what Ange wanted them to do.
Yes, in principle. Yeah. But what actually is, with all those Spurs players playing that high line,
Yeah.
All that they were doing, Chelsea, was those 4 players you see were just dropping 2 yards, waiting. Then every single time they played that ball over the halfway line, what Spurs allowed Chelsea to do, I don't know the exact dimensions of a football pitch. Let's say 50 yards for a half.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
We gave them 50 yards every half to go on, try and score. And the problem with that, if you had Van de Ven in there, I'm going, all right, cool. Right, if you had a doggy on there, yeah, all right, they're quick. These guys are quick. Problem was, we were at the stage where we had Højbjerg and Dyer. So what we were saying was, we know once they're past us, they're through on goal. There's no recovery. We know it. Now, my point with this is, listen, this is how football is such a fine line for me. People will go, oh, well, we had a couple of chances and we could have won. Yeah, sure. But Chelsea had about 10 clear-cut chances. And if that centre forward, Rants...
I don't think they were clear-cut, though. I don't think they were clear-cut. They had more chances than they had more chances than perhaps they may have done if you sat off them, but then you don't know that. And the reason why I say you don't know that is, if you surrendered the whole impetus of the game, yeah, and you just decided, yeah, everyone we're going to stay on the edge of our box and camp out, which is what a lot of teams do.
Why either or?
Because it's the only way. Either you conserve energy. It is. Either you conserve energy, yeah, and you try and break, or you use your energy to try and stifle the other team, yeah, so they don't get you. It's kill or be killed. Like, it's either you're on the front foot or on the back foot. Like, that's just what it is. You can't do both in football. Like, it's either you're the aggressor, you're either the aggressor, yeah, or you're not, bro. You can either play sit deep and counter, or you can play proactive on the front foot football. What can you do in between that when you've got 2 less players?
Okay. So let me counter that again. First of all, I don't think it is either or. First of all, I think, hear me out, right? I think if Spurs had dropped 15 yards from the halfway line, right, and said, right, come and try and break us down. Vicario is playing as a sweeper keeper. Right. I think what that means is that they're already 15 yards into our half, so they've got 15 yards less to think about what they're going to do. Vicario's already on the edge of our box. At least make a very poor Chelsea attack, and it is a toothless Chelsea attack. Make them break you down. That's my
but then when you do that, you give up the impetus and you say, you know what, we're not going to try and score today. Is that what you would have rathered?
Hang on. I understand that, but the problem that I've got with this, listen, it's only one game. I think the funny thing about this, Rads, I've been saying I don't agree with this decision. It's just I just don't agree with this decision, and it's turned to I've got so many Australian people in my YouTube comments right every day going, you just don't know Ange, and it's like, it's not about me knowing Ange.
It's your opinion.
If you want to play a high line, I'm cool with it, but not a high line on the halfway line, because my problem with the halfway line high line, which has never been a thing through any manager I've ever seen before. My problem with that, Rants, is it's do or die on the halfway line, right? Because the Chelsea players are starting in our half, they're not offside. So once they've sprung it, they've sprung it. The problem is if you drop 15 yards and play a high line, there's more chance they could be offside. Look, it is what it is. I just think that Chelsea, I mean, let's be fair. If it wasn't Nicholas Jackson, and I know this sounds harsh because the man got a hat-trick. If that wasn't Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea win that game 7 or 8-1.
Yeah, but we're looking at risk and reward though, because that's what you're saying. Because you're saying if they spring the offside trap, that's if. And then if you're the manager, you're looking at it and saying, yo, but if we can stem the attack, from the source, if we can stem the attack from the source, then we get a position where Son could have equalized. Do you see what I'm saying? Because look at that attack there. If Son puts it in the net and it's 2-2, the manager's probably looking at it. Listen, like, we're going to keep attacking because attack is the best form of defense. And a lot of the time in football, it is. Sometimes sitting back just leaves you open to getting absolutely smashed to bits.
I agree. But for all the people that are saying, if Son had scored, if Dyer's goal wasn't offside, you can equally look, Chelsea had 3 goals disallowed. Chelsea had chance after chance after chance. I think if that's, and we are, I get it, Rants, I get it. We're talking risk reward. But for all the people that are saying we're brave and I like what he did, if that game had ended up 7-1 or 8-1, which it should have been, let's be brutally honest. If that had been Villa's front three, clinical, that is 7-8-1. Would we still be sitting here saying, Ange did the right thing, risk reward? Because my point is this, right, Ranson? Tell me if you agree with me, right? The week before, I've got all the Spurs fan, you know how much they hate me. I've got all the Spurs fan base rants going to me, Sava, your expectations for the season need to be better. We could be in a title race. We can win a league. You need to be better, Sava. Your expectations need to be better. Cool. All right, my expectations need to be better. So when we've come off the pitch and lost 4-1 in a game where we could have easily conceded 7 or 8, and people are saying they're proud, which one is it? Are we proud that we lost 4-1 at home to Chelsea? Or are we annoyed because the week before we were in a title challenge apparently and we're winning leagues? For me, I think there's a way to manage games. I think that, would I have seen Pep do that? No. Would I have seen Klopp do that? No. These guys would manage a game. Now, I'm not saying I hate Ange. I'm not saying he's rubbish. I just think on this occasion, with the personnel available to him, he got it wrong. But it's only an opinion. It's done. We lost. We probably would have lost with whatever formation. I just think we turned around and said to them basically at half-time, have as many chances as you want. Because even after the first 10 minutes of going to 9 men and watching them spring that trap time and time again, Cucurella this time, Jackson this time, Sterling, James, Gallagher, at no point did we go, this is not working. At no point. We just let them do it. And I'm sitting there doing a watch-along going, how long until one of these goes in? How long? And then it came, then the next one, then the next one. And then, if anyone remembers the last 5 minutes of the game, they should have scored another 2 sitters. Vicario spared Ange's blushes for me. It's only my opinion.
Maybe so, but then at the same point, yeah. One, that's the goalkeeper's job in the system to do that. And two, what you've got to understand is, yeah, if you were losing, say you were losing 2-0, yeah, when there was a red card, or the second red card, I don't believe the manager plays like this. I believe the manager played like that because he genuinely thought that Chelsea were there for the taking, and they were. Do you know what I'm saying? So he took a calculated risk to say, you know what? We've got 9 men, but these lot of shit. Like, we can still get something here. And there were times where you could have got something. Do you know what I'm saying? I just look at it. I look at it down risk and reward, because if Son equalizes and it's 2-2, and then the momentum swings again, and then maybe you nick one, yeah, all of a sudden everyone's saying this is a managerial masterclass. Like the lines in football are so narrow, yeah.
Oh, okay, but it didn't work. So
yeah, it didn't.
But this is the thing. Surely then, if I'm sitting there at 4-1, I can say with certainty it didn't work. So when people are going, he did the right thing, the fact that we didn't get anything, look, 9 men is always going to be tough. I really do want to look at one of the comments, though. I really need to pull this apart because it's not true in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, sure.
It's the one you've got up on the screen. I didn't even ask you to. It's the one you've got up on. This is so far from the truth. It's unreal. First of all, we've seen 2 occasions this year where Liverpool have gone down to 9 men and 10 men. Right? We'll start with the 10 men. Against Newcastle, he didn't go out all-out attack.
They sat back and then Nunes paced on the break. Yeah. Right.
So that's not true. Secondly, when Liverpool played Spurs, he didn't go all-out attack.
Yeah, they parked the bus.
Everyone in our box. They parked the bus.
And they still lost. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, but Rants, here's the thing. They still lost. Here's the thing, Rants. For me, again, when we're talking risk-reward, if, not me, you know I don't think Spurs are going to be anywhere near a title race. If, which is all football debates ever are ifs and hypotheticals. If Tottenham Hotspur lose out on the Champions League by 2 goals, by 1 goal, these are the moments I look back and go, that's where you've got to manage the situation. Damage control for me. Listen, Chelsea for me are a good football team that struggle to score goals. I've been watching some Chelsea YouTube channels in the last 48 hours, friends, that have been saying they can't even believe what we did because they said we would have struggled to broken you down with 9 men. But you
100%.
gave us everything we're good at, which is pace.
Yeah, they would have struggled to break you lot down, but also you guys would have struggled to score in it. And the
Sure,
manager
but we
looked at
struggled to
it.
score anyway.
The manager looked at it and said, "Listen, we have a better chance of scoring goals if we're proactive and we play on the
I
front
get it.
foot, because it's a lot harder to get from the edge of your own box to the edge of their box and score than it is if you're going to try and win the ball high up and you're closer to the goal, innit? It was a calculated risk that didn't pay off. But I think overall, when you're a new manager that is trying to instill a certain mentality in a football team and a certain style of play, this will help them in the long run, because it shows that the players have bought in to what the manager's trying to do. And more often than not, it's like the players can play like that with complete freedom, knowing that if it doesn't work, the manager's willing to take the bullet for it. And that's completely fine.
So let me throw a spanner in the works then. I'm going to tell you something else I thought that Postecoglou did wrong in that game. By the way, listen, it's just how this guy hates me. This guy hates me. Look, for me, I'll tell you what. Can I tell you where I think he went wrong? More than anything, where I think he went wrong was the substitution he made was taking off our quickest player when we went down to 10 men. For me, it's only me. It's only an opinion. I think if you go down to 10 men or 9 men, the 2 players you want to leave on are your quick players, right? I would have left Brennan Johnson on and tried to spring over the top against that Chelsea defence, which is quite rigid. That's what I would have done. So for me, if we're going to say about this, I would have left Brennan Johnson on and sprung. But look, listen, at the end of the day, facts are we lost 4-1. People can come out with ifs, buts, maybes, all they like. If the Son goal had gone in, if the Dyer goal, at the end of the day, they didn't. Chelsea scored 3, had 3 in the second half. They had 3 further goals in the game disallowed, and Nicholas Jackson messed up about 4 one-on-ones. So at the end of the day, when we're talking risk versus reward, that's fine. But what I'm not going to do is sit at the end of it and go, I'm proud of that, right? Take your risk. But I'm seeing videos of people outside the ground going, I'm proud. I'm not proud of that. We've lost 4-1 at home to Chelsea. Whichever way you dice this up, Rants, the first half, our players were a disgrace. They lost their heads. They lost all composure. We were in full control of the game after 20 minutes. And for some reason, Udogie, Romero, these guys keep putting in these stupid tackles for no reason. They lose all their head, right? Spurs, then Chelsea started getting on top of us. So for me, I'm not proud of that performance. I like the style of play we're playing, but manage the game. Like, listen, it is what it is. And now we've got 3 games, Rants, coming up without Romero or Van der Ven. And one of those games is Man City away. And I think Man City are going to score 5 or 6 past us. I truly do.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, bro, to see what happens. I personally think the manager took a calculated risk. Yeah. It didn't pay off. But at the end of the day, how many times have we seen teams go down to 10 men? We haven't seen teams go down to 9 men very often. How many times have you seen teams go down to 10 men, sit back, and lose anyway?
Sure,
you know what I mean?
I'm not doubting that.
I'm just saying, he's probably said, you know what, fuck it. We're going to do something different in it, because at the end of the day, if we do what everyone else does, we're going to lose anyway. So if we're going to lose, then we might as well go out fighting in it. Like, that's just the way I've seen it. So I've seen it in, really and truly, in theory, there's no right way to lose. Do you know what I'm saying? But bro, if you're going to lose, at least lose trying to win. And that's what he did, innit? Like, that's the way I'm interpreting it. Because if he sat back, retreated, and then you lot lost anyway, then what? There's nothing to take from it. Like, a loss is a loss. It's just like when Liverpool lost and it was in injury time. Oh, we almost got there. Yeah, but you didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? Tottenham still got the 3 points. You lot still want the replay.
I'll say the same thing.
You still want the replay. You sat down, you gave Tottenham the ball for the rest of the game. You literally defended for your life and played without the football for 40 minutes, and you still lost. So all of that was for nothing anyway. You'd have been better off going for it. You still lost.
Yeah, but listen, this is such a simplistic way of looking at it. At the end of the day, we still lost 4-1, and they looked like scoring every time they went forward. For me, I think you've got to at least make it difficult for the other team, and we didn't. We didn't. We had a couple of chances going forward, but at the back, We literally said, all right, we're going to play the 2 slowest players in the squad and play a high line. And Rants, the overall thing for me, it's not that we played a high line, because we always play a high line. Right?
You just didn't understand why you played a higher line than you normally play.
I love comments like this. When we're saying proper football, man, go out fighting. I'll tell you what, if this had been an FA Cup final or a World Cup final, you're not seeing managers do this. You're seeing managers manage the game, right? This is the difference. Again, this is the difference between heart. Yeah? This is between head and heart. It's all well and good going, yeah, we went for it. But we also gave up 10 to 12 shots in that second half, which they were literally through on goal. Why? My overriding feeling, like you just said, Rants, it's not just about the fact we played a high line, but why go even higher than the original high line? That is the one. He's doubled down on it. He's got it wrong. I don't know what is wrong with saying he got it wrong. I'm not allowed to say it. Oh, but that's my manager. We want this. Okay, I don't want to watch my team get beaten 4-1 at home to Chelsea. I don't know why that is wrong. Nick, when you're saying I'm too worried about the score, I'm gonna put this. If at the end of the season, Tottenham Hotspur's goal difference is what's the difference between Champions League or European football, yeah, this is what big clubs do. Klopp, you could say, yeah, they still lost. Klopp didn't get embarrassed. He didn't get a hiding.
No,
yeah?
I get that, but
so
then on the flip side is though, one thing I would say is that loads of teams have had 10 men sat back and got smoked anyway. Like, and this is the thing. We can talk about the chances they missed. Teams miss chances in every game. So I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Not to that degree.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. They missed chances they should have scored and stuff like that.
Nicholas Jackson.
We could argue that. Do you know what I mean? We could argue it both ways. Like, the point is, I just think it's more of the psychological thing behind it that I respect from the manager. Because when you've got 9 men, you're expected to lose anyway. So it wasn't about the score. It was about the mentality. Do you know what I mean? It was about the fact that he stuck to his principles even when it wasn't going well. Even when, yeah, all the odds were against him. And I feel like it shows a certain element of strength to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because a loss is a loss, man. Like, I'm not really of those things. It's about psychologically how you bounce back from that. If you go out, yeah, on the weekend and you guys have got Wolves, if you go to Wolves and beat Wolves 4-0, nobody gives a shit about that Chelsea game anymore. Like, if that loss affects your confidence and you go into that Wolves game and you go on a run of 3 games without a win or something after that, and it's knocked your confidence, then I think we're having a different conversation. But I think psychologically that defeat wouldn't have done much to the Tottenham players because of how they went out.
I disagree completely. I disagree. I mean, first and foremost, I think all these people saying that we still played our way afterwards, we didn't. If anyone actually watches the game, we had no possession in that second half, so we had none of the ball. What we did was spring them on the counter a few times. That's what we did. And everyone's taking that to mean, I can't deal with those sort of comments. I can't deal with. This has nothing to do with Conte. This has nothing to do with Conte's ball. Conte did best game in, game out. All I'm asking is that Ange was a little bit more pragmatic when you're down to 9 men, like every other manager in world. Look, this is the thing. All these people telling me I'm wrong, Rants. If I'm that wrong, why does no other manager in world football do this?
It's just a completely different way of seeing things, isn't it? Your manager's just decided that, listen, we're gonna try something that no one else has done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, and it failed miserably. So look, there you go. At the end of the day, people can tell me I'm wrong. The scoreline tells me I'm right. That's all I know. And that's fair enough. I didn't like it. That's the thing for me. As soon as he did it, I remember I'm sitting on my watch along going, "This is suicide." This is. I'm literally. I turn around. You can see me on the watch along. Go. This is suicide. They're gonna score a hatful of goals, and they nearly did. And look. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I wonder what people would think. I wonder what people would think though if that was in a cup final. If that was in a cup final and you said, "Go on, just look, dude, Azad, listen, sorry, Azad in the chat, right? We've got to stop this, right?"
No, I hear what you mean about a cup final. I think a cup final is different.
Sorry, just quickly, Rad. Sorry, this is Azad in the chat. This is like cowardice runs deep in Sava. Stop that, right? First of all, stop that. Azad, I'm the one that wanted Antonio Conte and Jose out for 4 years between them because I hate that style of negative football. All I'm saying is you have to manage some games.
No, you do.
There's things you want to do, and sometimes there's things you have to do. Just because my opinion is what every other manager in world football would do doesn't mean I'm a coward. I'm not gonna start.
No, it's just a different mentality. Like when you said about a cup game though, the difference between a league game and a cup game is that if you lose the cup game, you're out, innit? So I can expect a manager to be more pragmatic in a cup game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the league is a marathon, not a sprint. This one defeat does not define Tottenham's season. Do you know what I'm saying? So because of that, I think that a manager's more likely to be more pragmatic, in a cup game because they've got more to lose. I don't think you had anything to lose in that game. When you've got 9 men, you've got absolutely nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose.
Top managers don't do that. I don't care. Top managers don't do that.
What? Try and win the game at 9?
No, hang on. They didn't try. He didn't try.
What was the score when you went down to 9?
What was the score? It was 1-1.
Yeah, exactly. He tried to win the game.
No, he didn't try and win the game though. He didn't. Listen, it's crazy. No top manager in world football does this for a reason.
So you think he played like that to try and draw the game? If he wanted to draw the game, he would have just retreated and just tried to see the game out. No.
Okay. All right. Cool. Do you know what? I'll take it. I'm wrong.
No, but I'm saying.
Hang on. No, I didn't just watch my team. Do you know what? If we're going to talk about, let's do this then.
But I'm saying, if you just look at it logically, do you think he played for a draw?
Let me finish. I think he played to lose. He said to Chelsea, have attack after attack, free through on our go. You knew they were going to score. Every fan, if they looked deep down, you could see after the first 10, 15 minutes of doing it, that they're opening us up at will. They were ripping us apart at will. Managers don't do that. Right? Now, I'll tell you why. Someone said I'm a bit stressed about it, right? I'll tell you what, I'm annoyed because of that idiot in the chat, right?
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about that.
No, do you know why I hate it? Because he comes into my YouTube mocking me, saying these things about me. What I hate, right, is we've got fans like that are happy to lose 4-1, telling me I'm a coward. He was happy to lose that game 4-1. Let that sink in. Happy to lose the game 4-1. Anyone who's proud of that is happy to lose that game 4-1, Rants. Am I right or wrong?
Not
How
necessarily.
Can you be proud of losing 4-1?
I don't think. But yeah, but this is why I think that you're taking into account the score a lot more than you need to. Because, like, for instance, we lost here 7-0 to Liverpool. We lost 7-0 to Liverpool. And not at one point, if we'd lost 7-0 to Liverpool in the circumstances that you lost 4-0 to Chelsea, it would have been a complete different story. We lost 7-0 to Liverpool with 11 men. We weren't defending high. We weren't trying to win the game. We just capitulated. When I looked at that Tottenham team, I still saw a team that was still attacking, a team that was still having shots on goal.
We had
a team
4
that's
attacks in 45 minutes. Can we?
But you had 9 players though. You had 9 players.
So where has this come from that we still attacked and we still were playing really good?
But you did attack. Just because you don't finish an attack, that doesn't mean that you didn't attack.
We had 4 attacks.
No, you had 4. You had 4 completed attacks, but that's not the same as having 4 attacks. You were still trying to play. That is the point.
Listen.
Them 4 attacks are 4 more attacks than you would have had, had your manager sat back.
But no, you don't know that because we've sat back before and countered teams. So that you can't look at Liverpool when they sat back and countered Newcastle.
Exactly, but Liverpool had Nunes and they had a lot more pace than you have. Like, respectfully, like Kulusevski ain't got pace. All of Liverpool's front men are quicker than yours, apart from Heung-min Son.
Rants, okay. Why has no other manager in world football ever done this? I've never seen this before. Why? Why do you never see this when a team goes down to 9 men? Why?
Because it's
Tell me who
very,
you've seen do it before.
but because it's unorthodox.
Because you get whacked. You get whacked 4-1. Rants.
Yeah, but this
4-1.
Chelsea team are
Hang
also
on,
shy. Would he have done this against Liverpool?
You got to let
Probably
me
not.
finish. You got to let me finish, right? 4-1 flattered us. 4-1 flattered Tottenham. They should have battered us.
Yeah.
They should have battered us. I'm asking this question. All these people are talking about brave and cowardice. If that game had been 7 or 8-1, are we still doing this?
No, we're not. No, we're not. If it was 7-8-1, yeah. If it was 7-8-1, then you're probably sitting there and saying, yo, why didn't he change it? But he genuinely thought that he could beat this Chelsea team, and rightly so, because they're shit. Do you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have done this against Liverpool. He wouldn't have done this against a team that he thought was better. He saw Chelsea as there for the taking. And even at 10 men, I reckon you would have still beaten Chelsea because they're rubbish.
10 men, sure. Sure, at 10 men. At 10 men, sure, do your thing. But even then, when we went to 10 men, he took off our quickest player. And it was like, why have you taken off the quickest player? Look, for me, try it. Like he did for 10, 15 minutes. See how easily they're getting through and adapt something. Right? I'm sorry. Listen, Spurs fans can say what they want. Proud, and this is Ange. And the number of people I've got telling me, this is Ange, and this is what he does. And listen, that's fine if we're going to talk like that. But at the end of the day, we got whacked 4-1. That is fact. Everyone else is talking with ifs and buts. I'm talking about facts. We lost 4-1. I'm going to be honest, right? Perchy, who I work with, said the best thing the other day, right? He turned around and he said, and be honest with me, Rants, if this had been Klopp or Arteta or Ten Hag or Poch, and any of them had done that, every fan base out there is going, this is mental. Everyone's going to say this is an awful tactic, right? The problem I've got with this is Chelsea's one strength for me is their pace. And that's the one thing that we allowed them to utilize time and time and time again. I would have rather have said, right, try and break us down. Then if they couldn't, then start pushing a bit further forward. But we didn't. We literally just said, go on, try this time. Try that time. Try this time. And it was getting to the point where it was like, they're going to score. And they did. And listen, I just think he asked for it. That's all it is. People can call it cowardice.
It's not. At the end of the day, you're looking at it from one way. I'm looking at it from another way. There's no right way or no wrong way. The bottom line is your manager backed your players against this Chelsea team, yeah, and it didn't pay dividends. Do you know what I mean? And
yes,
the thing is...
So did he get it wrong?
Yeah, well, he lost. Well, he lost.
Okay, he got it wrong. So what's he
lost then, innit? But he lost, bro. But the thing is, he had 9 men. He was probably going to lose anyway. This is my argument. So it's easy to say he got it wrong now because he lost. But he might have lost anyway. It's just like yesterday, Man United lost to Copenhagen. People are saying, it's because of the red card. But I'm saying, we don't know if we would have lost anyway. Because that United team showed that as soon as the first sign of adversity, they buckle anyway. So what happens if we conceded early in the second half? We could have well lost the game anyway. And this is the point. So in hindsight, it's easy to turn around and say...
It's not hindsight.
It's easy to say that he got it wrong. Because you know when you're saying, if Pep did this or if Klopp did this, yeah? Like, bro, it's one of them ones where, for instance, against Newcastle, Liverpool had 10 men. They had 10 men and he brought on Nunez. And Nunez scored a brace. At 10 men, and he brought on a striker. If they would have gone to lose that game, people would have said, why the fuck's he bringing on a striker, yeah? Sure. Like, when you're 10 men down, just see the game out. And it paid off. And all of a sudden, he's a fucking genius.
No one thinks he's a genius. He does what most managers do in that situation. It's not genius.
No, most managers don't bring on a striker when you're losing a game, yeah, and you've got 10 men. They don't.
Right.
Most managers bring on another defender.
Listen, Rants. This is not hindsight. Said it at that time. What are you doing? Said it at the time. This is an awful decision. Then every 2 minutes when I'm seeing Chelsea go through on goal, I'm thinking, yeah, this is still awful. This is still awful. Every time Vicario saved us, I'm like, Jesus, this is bad. What? And nothing changed. Listen, at the end of the day, I've never seen it done before for a good reason. We lost 4-1 for a good reason. At the end of the day, if people like that, people like losing, if people think that doing what no other manager does for a reason is a good thing, that's cool. But at the end of the day, that was obvious what was going to happen. You're playing to Chelsea's strengths. Chelsea's biggest problem is breaking teams down. And we've said, don't worry about trying to break us down. Just try and break an offside trap on the halfway line. Didn't even sit 10 to 15 yards deeper and try and make them break it down. That's the thing for me. He's doubled down on the high line. No one does that. And the thing is, when I said about if other managers done it, I can guarantee you, if Arteta did that, all these Spurs fans in the chat going, oh, yeah, it's break. We're all sitting there going, what a bad manager Lego head is. What a bad... Because it is bad. It's a bad tactic. Look, at the end of the day, I don't doubt Ange as a manager. I just didn't like that half of what he did. This is
and that's completely fine. You're completely allowed. Like a lot of people will say, that was madness. A lot of people will say, actually, it was brave. It doesn't matter. There's no right way and no wrong way. At the end of the day, it's people having their opinion, and it's me thinking, why did the manager do it? I don't believe the manager did it because he wanted to lose. I don't believe that. I believe that the manager thought that he could catch Chelsea out with doing something that was unorthodox, and it didn't pay off. That's how I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it and saying, in hindsight, he got it wrong, because it was a long time to play with 9 men. There's no way I see him winning, not losing the game anyway. In my eyes, losing 4-1 and losing 2-1 is the same.
Okay, sure. If that's the route we want to go down, yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm right. It got battered. It was bad. It was wrong. We got battered. Should have been more. This game should have been 7 or 8-1. I'm thanking my lucky stars it wasn't. Nicholas Jackson assured that this was not 7 or 8-1 because he can't finish his dinner. If he can, we're having a very different conversation.
No, absolutely. They had loads of chances.
Hang on. But then, is it heroic? Then is it the right thing to do? Then is it not being a coward? No, it's not. Then it's damn stupid tactics. Listen, I'll wait and see when I see a next manager do that with 9 men. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's fine. But listen, this isn't hindsight. I said it at the time. What a stupid tactic. Chelsea, the thing I said before the game, Chelsea's pace worries me. Let alone against 9 men with a high line on the halfway line.
So what about this? They're saying you had no centre backs left on the bench.
Sure.
You lost all your defenders, yeah. So how are you going to defend with no defenders?
So how are you going to defend a high line with no defenders? Same question.
On the front foot and use the offside trap.
But we weren't on the front foot. We weren't on the front. This has got to stop.
But you were pressing though. You were.
No, hang on. This notion we were on the front foot. We pressed a few times. This second half was like 75% possessions Chelsea. They had all the ball and sprung our attack time. Sprung that high line on the halfway line time and time again. This notion that we were playing this some sort of really good football is wrong. We had a couple of chances, yes, but this notion that we continue to play our way is completely wrong. By the way, I don't even know what that means, if I'm brutally honest, play our way anymore. I think we've been really poor the last few games, but that's a different story. Look, at the end of the day, all I know is I'll stand by this. If I see any other team doing that, I'm saying the same thing. Yeah, no, you would never, ever put 9 men on a halfway line. I've never seen it.
Fair enough. Me neither. But that's why I liked it, because I'd never seen it. Because I'd understood why he did it. Do you know what I mean? Your back's against the wall anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just like someone likened it to a boxing match. You're down on the cards. Do you know what I mean? So you fight for your life and try and get the knockout. Because, bro,
we didn't.
It is what it is.
But we didn't. This is the thing. It's all right to say you liked it from somebody who's not a Spurs fan point of view. Most football fans, even Chelsea fans, are just going, why didn't they just shut up against us? We wouldn't have been able to break them down.
Well, a lot of Chelsea fans I spoke to, were like, you know what? Yeah, Tottenham came out with more credit than us because we struggled to break down a team with 9 men. A lot of Chelsea fans were like, we kind of look bad after that because we legit struggled to break these lot down. Like, those are the Chelsea fans that I spoke to. No Chelsea, I didn't really speak to. Obviously, there's the odd shameless Chelsea fan that's going to say, oh yeah, Spurs get battered everywhere they go and doing the shameless stuff, but they know it wasn't that kind of game for them.
I know it was.
Do you know what I mean? They scored two goals in added time, man. Like,
I know,
do you know
but
what I mean?
how
It
many
was
should they have
4-1.
scored before that? How many should they have scored before that? This is a game. You've got to remember, Rants.
I know what you're saying, but when you're saying teams should have scored goals, I could say that Tottenham, that Son should have scored his chance.
Yeah, but this is different. Whatever. Okay, cool.
No, but it's the truth though. We can't do the should haves in football because people miss chances every game.
Okay, so then you can't say if Spurs had scored their goal, his tactic should have worked or could have worked. It's got to be worked both ways. Spurs played and lost 4-1. That's the end. At the end of the day, it was 1-1 when they went down to 9 men. We lost 4-1. It should have been massive, the score. There's a difference between missing the chances Chelsea did when there was like 3-on-1 against Vicario versus a couple of chances at the other end, which we engineered. I don't think Chelsea were good. This is my point. Chelsea whacked us 4-1 without having to be good because we gifted them the one thing they're good at, pace. We gifted it to them. Most managers will look at a team and go, what's their weapon? Pace. How do we counter that? We didn't. Yeah? And then this is the problem. You get idiots saying things like, oh, if you don't want Ange ball. That's not Ange ball. That's not Ange ball. This whole nonsense of Ange ball, when you're down to 9 men, you have to adapt. Top managers adapt to their surrounding, to the situation. If you're just going to keep playing that stupid high line, even higher, with 9 men, you are asking to be beaten. Most teams make it difficult for the team with 11 men when they've got 9 for a reason. Try and stay in the game as long as possible. We didn't. I just can't ever condone losing 4-1 at home to a crap Chelsea team because we gifted it to them. We didn't. If they had fought tooth and nail, you know, when we played Liverpool, yes, Liverpool lost with 9 men, but at the end of that game, you're thinking, oh my God, what a let off. We couldn't break them down. We just couldn't break them down. Chelsea broke through us at will.
Who got sent off in the Liverpool games?
Can't even think now. Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they lost 2 attackers, you lost 2 defenders, and you had a defender that went off with an injury. So, and you had no defenders on the bench. So even if you wanted to do what Liverpool did, I don't think you would have been able to do it because you didn't have the players.
I'm just so confused about, right? I'm so confused that a tactic that no one's seen before because it was never going to work, and it clearly didn't.
No, I completely understand what you're saying.
Not you.
Yeah.
But are now going, oh my God, Ange got it right. Sava, you know nothing. It's like, hang on. But what are we doing here? There's a reason no one's ever done that. It's suicide, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, but people
are going, there's no other way. Of course there's another way.
But this is where 2 things can be correct at the same time. You think that because no one else does it, yeah, that it's the wrong thing. I look at it and I look at it and say no one else does it because it's fucking risky. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's no such thing as right and wrong in football if you ended up scoring or winning or even getting, if you ended up winning, it's not wrong. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's in hindsight, it's easy to say it was wrong. So, but I'm not saying that Ange was right for doing what he was doing either. I'm not saying what Ange did was right. I'm saying that that's the choice that he made. Do you know what I'm saying? And it didn't pay off.
Was it right?
But no, it turned out not to be. It turned out not to be.
That's all I've said. And that's all I've said. So why?
Of course.
When I'm getting so much shit for this, what I've said is Ange got it wrong. We lost 4-1. People still want to go, no, he got it right. You couldn't have got it right if you lose 4-1. That's all I've said. If people want to call it brave, call it brave. If people want to say, oh, we stuck to our philosophy, cool. But you got beaten 4-1. At the end of the day, you got beaten 4-1 without making it difficult for the other team.
I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't say that, but that's the thing. You're saying you didn't make it difficult for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea scored 2 goals in added time.
But that's because they can't finish. It's not
that's
about...
cool. Yeah, but also you know that they can't finish, and I'm sure your manager knew that as well. So maybe your manager thought, you know what, we can beat these guys. Does your manager do this against Liverpool? Probably not. You have to understand that he probably
I
did
hope
this.
not. But that,
He doesn't
okay,
do
but
this
then,
against
but then,
Liverpool.
okay, but then there's the worrying thing. He's come out after the game and said, "I'll always do this." He's the one come out and said, "I'll do this. Even if we go down to 5 men, I'll do this."
Yeah, but
If
he's gonna
you-
say that after the game.
Sure, but then if he's saying that, I'm holding him to it. Let's see if he does it against the better teams. Look, at the end of the day, yeah.
It's very.
Listen,
he's not gonna be.
Azad,
He's not gonna have 9 players very often. So we're probably not gonna see him be in that position again, innit? So we're never gonna know. It's easy for him to say, in hindsight, if I had 5 men, I'd still do it, because we know he's never gonna have 5 men. The game would have been abandoned.
I'm wrong.
But bro, it's not about being. But it's not about being right. Being right and wrong.
I'm annoyed now. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I've got idiots everywhere saying these things. I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you don't. But you don't have to be.
Spurs lost 4-1. I got it wrong. We should have done that. Do you know what? We should have played.
But it's not about right and wrong, though.
Of course it is.
But it's not about right and wrong, though. It's not about right and wrong.
The manager got it wrong.
It's not about right and wrong. It's easy. All right, cool. It's easy. What I'm saying is, it's very easy to come out in hindsight and say that the manager got it wrong because you lost.
Said it at the time.
Yeah, but that's fine. No, but I understand that. I understand that. But what you're saying is, yeah, you're saying that your reasoning for why you thought it was mad is because no one else does it. But I'm saying no one else does it because it's extremely risky.
No. No, that's just one point. The reason he got it wrong is you're playing a high line against a team with loads of pacey players. It's mad. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. If they had no pace, I'd say go for it. Or if a couple of the players you're playing on that high line had pace to recover, go for it. But you've got really slow players. By the way, I'm not saying, listen, I'll tell you what, Rants, sort this Azad bloke out in the chat, right? I'm sick of him. He keeps coming into my YouTube and abusing me. He's now going to follow me on channels and doing it, right? It's everywhere I go. Just that one guy.
Just ignore it, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Ignore it. I don't know who that is.
It's absolutely pissing me off. Look, at the end of the day, he got it wrong. We conceded that many goals. We gifted Chelsea the one thing that they've got, which is pace. Everyone can say it's brave. If any other manager done it, we'd be calling them out. I know that for sure. We'd be.
Listen, what you're saying makes 100% sense, bro. Like, it makes sense. I understand why you're saying it. And in hindsight, it's easy to say. That's all I'm saying. You can say that you said it at the time, but we can say, oh yeah, Chelsea missed loads of chances. Chelsea missed loads of chances every week. Like, when you're looking at Chelsea,
but not chances like this.
I understand that. I understand that, but Chelsea should be top of the league on the amount of goals that they should have scored, and they haven't scored. No, but it is though. That's not what you're talking about, but this is what I'm talking about. I'm saying
I'm talking about the game in hand, not all their other games. I'm talking about there's a difference between the games where they miss chances, right? There's games where you miss chances where you've had to create them and you've got defenders in front of you and people marking you, versus 10 or however many one-on-ones it was that we allowed them that they should have just tapped the ball home. And if Nicholas Jackson had any composure about him, they're 7-8-1 up. They're 7-8-1 up. And we're having a very, very different conversation. I've never known fans back that sort of crazy tactic before. It's mad. You know what? I'm going to ask you a question, Rants. If this was a manager, all the Spurs fans love Ange. Yeah, I love Ange. If this was a manager that the fans didn't love that did this, now be honest with me, are they saying the same thing? If Nuno Santos had done this in a game, we're saying the same thing.
If Nuno done it in a game and you were top of the league all season, yeah, and undefeated, maybe they would have. The reason why they believe in Ange is because of where you are.
Sure.
He's earned the trust of people. Like, he's earned people giving him the benefit of the doubt when he does stuff like that, because he's winning games, bruv.
So sure. So what that means is now, because we've done well so far this season, no one can question his tactics.
No, you can question his tactics, but I'm saying,
and I have, and he got it wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong with questioning his tactics. I can completely see why you don't like what he did, and you won't be the only person. I'm just looking at it from my point of view. I'm saying most of the time, 9 versus 11, the team with 9 is going to lose anyway. There's ways to lose, innit?
I agree. There are ways.
If you sat back with no defenders and you sat back with Eric Dyer, Emerson Royale, and Højbjerg and that, and you sat back here and let Chelsea play, you could have lost 4-1 anyway.
But I've never said that. This is the problem.
I know you haven't said that. But
I've never said 9 men behind the ball. I'm just talking about dropping 10 yards, making them have to come into our half. You catch them offside more. The problem is when you're making them run from their own half, they're not offside because they're starting.
I understand that, but when you look at your line, though, even the picture you showed me, the Spurs players were just inside their own half. They were.
Yeah, but they were moving. This is the problem.
I know they were starting on the halfway line, right. And then when the Chelsea players were coming up, they were stepping back. So
the problem is the problem is when you're on the halfway line, you know this, right? When you're on the halfway line, the moment you get that ball right, you are through on goal.
Of course.
That was the problem with it.
And you had Vicario sweeping and he done a good job doing that.
He did do a good job of doing it. So now my point is, imagine that was 10, 15 yards further back. You catch them offside more. Vicario's closer to the action. He's sweeping more. I think you can get a point from the game. I genuinely do think 100%, you get a point from the game.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't think your manager was happy with a point because if you drop 15 yards, it means you're 15 yards further away from their goal as well, which makes it harder for you to get a goal. And I believe that your manager genuinely thought that he could get something out of this game.
Sure, and he was very wrong. That's the point. He was very wrong. He thought he could get something out of the game.
Yeah, it turned out that it didn't work out. It was a high risk and there wasn't the reward.
Do you know what? But as I said to you at the beginning of this, if he had tried that when he had, if 2 of the back 4 were a Doggy and Van der Ven doing that, sure, go for it. They're rapid. You've tried it when there's no pace in the back. There's no pace in the back 4. You're asking for that scoreline. I think. Look, at the end of the day, listen. Whether I get rattled or not, it doesn't matter, right? Whether I'm passionate about this or not. What I hate is this insinuation that. Because you question a manager, not from you, but because you question a manager, because you question a tactic, because you think he got something wrong, it's you don't deserve Ange. And if you don't like his football, what are we talking about? I'm one of the first Spurs fans in the summer that wanted this guy. I came onto your show and was like, I want Postecoglou. Most of these Spurs fans that are now double downing on this because we've had a good start, they're the ones that were going, oh, he's only managed in Celtic. He's only managed in Japan. He's only managed Australia. Now, all of a sudden, everyone is an Ange Postecoglou tactical expert, like they know him. Before they were going, oh, what's this guy ever done? Now, everyone's an expert with, this is Ange. Okay, but I'm allowed to not like what he did the other night.
There's absolutely nothing wrong, with you turning around and saying, you know what, I didn't like the way he went about it, or you thought that he shouldn't have done that. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, at the end of the day, every manager can be criticized. Like, at the end of the day, people don't understand it, and I said it the same way. Like, do you know what I mean? I love Pep as a manager, but there's a lot of things he does as a manager that I don't really like. Do you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean he's not a good manager. That doesn't mean I think I'm a better manager than him, or I know better than him. But at the end of the day, like, nobody's perfect, innit? So it's easy in hindsight it's easy to criticize a manager, one thing, without saying that you don't like the manager, you don't believe in the manager or whatever. If you believe that he genuinely got it wrong, then that's cool. I believe that the manager thought he could win the game, when really, with 9 men, most managers are shutting up shop, and it's damage limitation, and it's let's try and hold this draw. Do you know what I mean? Whereas his thing was, we don't want to just hold the draw. We want to still play and try and win the game, and he ended up losing. I believe that's why they lost, because he was trying to win. If he was playing for a draw, he could have dropped back 20 yards, and I believe that potentially he could have tried to get one, but he might have lost anyway.
He might, he might have, and that's the thing. Look, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I don't want to lose 4-1. I fully expected Spurs were going to lose a game at some point. Yeah, that's the point. That, we were going to lose a game at some point. This isn't about losing.
Yeah, 11 versus 11. You weren't going to lose that game, though. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to lose games. I'm a Spurs fan. We're used to losing games. This isn't about losing. For me, as I've said, the only thing was, for me, the manager literally gave them what they needed. He gave them what they needed. Yes, there might have been a risk at the other, a reward at the other end, but that reward didn't come. And you have to live and die by the decisions. You can't
100%.
You can't have the rough without the smooth. You can't praise a man when he's brilliant.
I
but then
agree
when his
that
tactic
style
doesn't
of
come
play.
off,
I
right?
agree that the way he approached the game, probably made the game easier for a team like Chelsea with the skill set that they do have. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you said, that pace is probably one of their strongest attributes because they can't play. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I,
but
get- I get what you mean with that.
listen, what frustrates me, right, is look, it's like, I'm not going to say it, but someone's written a comment saying this is what I hate about it, that where people have got such lack of critical thinking. They've got a pragmatic manager for the first time who's getting Spurs playing some exciting football, and Savra is still upset. First of all, watch Spurs play. Not a lot of the football has been that exciting. We play exciting football in some patches, but Postecoglou needs time to build that. Second of all, Savra isn't upset about the manager in general. I was upset about one decision he made in one game.
Yeah, that was
And
it.
this is why I get so frustrated where people can't quite understand the difference between I am questioning this second half. I'm not questioning every other game.
Yeah.
Even if I was questioning every other game, you're allowed to criticize managers. These are
Yeah,
the
you are.
same fans that if we lost 5 games in a row, would be going, oh my God, what's this manager doing? It's not working. Right? It's nice at the moment because we're doing well in the league. Right? But I'm allowed to question a decision. I'm allowed to question the decision. There's too many football fans that don't have critical thinking. It's just nice because we attacked anyway. Great. That's not how successful managers have operated. When
Yeah,
they
no, you
needed
don't
to,
have to agree
successful
with everything
managers.
that the manager does. That's crazy.
Right, that's the thing. That's the problem. That's all I'm saying is I just don't agree on one thing, and all of a sudden it's you don't deserve Ange, you want him out. Listen, I love this manager. I think this is the manager. Give him a couple of years to build and grow. We're going to make us a very good team. Too many fans already. You've seen it. We're winning league titles. And you're like, what? like what? They're the fans saying before the game, you're going to batter Chelsea 4 or 5-0. Right? Now they're proud you lost 4-1. Like you've got to, you can't go from one to the other. Stick true to your opinion. If you want to win a title, you're the fans telling me we're going to win a title this year. Cool. All right. Well, then that's 3 points dropped. I don't think we're winning it. But if you think we're winning a title and then you're saying scoreline doesn't matter, going gung-ho doesn't matter, that's madness. Because anyone who is in a title race, I don't think we are, anyone who is in a title race doesn't do that. Anyone in a title race will sit there and go, okay, cool, we've got to keep the score down because we're in a title race and these goals matter. So make up your mind, Spurs fans. We're either in a title race and you believe we're going to win a title, then you must be annoyed at what he did, or you don't think we are and it's just about playing good football and vibes. If it's just about playing good football and vibes, sure, knock yourself out. Just keep doing those things. That's fine. But you can't have it both ways. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I just don't understand it. If I sit there, Rants, and say, I don't think Spurs will win a title, you're negative. I don't think we're in a title race, you're negative. Right? If I sit there and say, I don't agree with attack, you're negative. Which one is it? Are we winning a league or not? If we're winning the league, you've got to be pissed off at that. If we're not, cool, we'll just all have a laugh. It's fine. It's absolutely mental. It's mental.
I get that.
I don't blame Ange for the defeat. I don't blame Ange for the defeat. The defeat is squarely on the shoulders of Romero and a doggy who are far too rash.
Yeah.
Far too rash as footballers. I was wrong about Romero apparently as well from all the Spurs fans about him being rash.
No. He's a liability, isn't it? Like it's one of them ones where he's done it way too many times for it to be overlooked or looked at as a one-off. Like he's got that in him. Even a doggy as well. He's a very good player, but he's rash. Do you know what I mean? And it's not the first time. He's always got a yellow card in him. And that's something that you will hope that he matures and gets out of his game. And if not, then it's going to be a cause for concern in the long run. It will be, because he's a very good player, but you can't do stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, especially knowing that your team's already down to 10 men, it's like, it's a challenge that you shouldn't be making.
Listen, I've said the same thing about Romero ever since we bought him. Is he a good defender? Yes. Is he got talent? Yes. Is he an absolute liability? Yes. He's a liability. And now he's left us in a situation where we've got Dyer and maybe Ashley Phillips, who's an 18-year-old kid, against Wolves. Against
what about Davis? Davis
Davis
isn't looking like. Does the manager him?
But Davis might be injured. So here's another question for you, Rants.
Shit, he's injured as well.
So Davis was injured for this game, right? So here's another question for you. So for all these people saying about just do what he did, cool. If Spurs have to play a centre-half pairing on Saturday of Dyer and Davis, do you still play a high line? I'm not talking about halfway line.
Oh, I know what you're saying. In theory, you shouldn't, but
do you think he will?
Absolutely.
Right, and do you think that Wolves will get in behind time and time again because we're playing a high line?
It depends. I don't know Wolves' attackers. I know that Neto's out. I'd be looking at Wolves stylistically, and also then maybe I don't play Dyer centre half. Maybe I play someone with pace, even if they're not a defender. Because we've seen Klopp play midfielders at centre half before, and it might be a thing where you might need to play someone out of position to make sure you've got the recovery pace if he does want to play the same way. But if you are playing without your two first choice defenders, like the manager probably should drop the line 10, 15 yards. Probably should. If he ends up playing with Dyer and Davis, then yeah, you can't play a high line with that. But I think he might play, what's his name, centre back? Emerson Royale.
Oh, I mean, even if he plays Emerson Royale, you've got to remember we play a very high line.
Yeah, but if you play Royale centre back and you play Porro right back, yeah, I think there's enough pace there.
Yeah, but both are very bad
to cover Dyer.
Listen, again, we'll see on Saturday. We'll see. I'm just worried that when people just say that's just the way he plays, that's cool. But sometimes you've got to adapt to your personnel and your surroundings. Like, what I don't want to see is if we do play a high line with players that can't...
I agree to a certain extent, but if you're a manager of philosophy, then you don't adapt, innit? And I saw the same with Louis van Gaal. We didn't adapt. When we got an injury, we went and we got a centre-back from the youth team that could play the profile. Even if he wasn't as good, as long as he fit the profile. So if it meant he had pace, but maybe he weren't as good as one of the other players, we went and got a 19-year-old to fill in, bro. Like, that is the trade-off. When you get rid of the pragmatic managers of the Contes and you go and get a manager that wants to die in his principles, you fit someone in to the profile. You find someone. He's always going to play the high line, so he's going to go and find someone. It might not be your usual. He might end up playing Højbjerg centre-back or playing someone else centre-back. But these are the kind of managers. This is what you give up. Do you know what I'm saying? When you give up the pragmatic managers and you get the rigid managers like the Bielsas and all of these guys, what you get is managers that are not going to shake on their principles. And this means that you're going to see a lot of things that you don't understand, like, because you're like, why are they doing it?
So all I'm going to say is then, if I don't know what his back two is going to be. I don't know what his back two is going to be against Wolves. I pray to the gods that it's not Dyer and Davis. Ashley Phillips has got pace.
Probably won't be.
But also Ashley Phillips is 18 and has never played in the Premier League before. This will be his debut. It's a big ask. Look, I think it's gonna be interesting to see that if we keep this tactic works brilliantly. Yeah, I mean both of them. Neither of them have ever played in the first team. It's going to be a big ask. This tactic, I think, is absolutely wonderful when Mickey van der Ven is in the team.
Right.
When Mickey van der Ven is in that 11, he is rapid. I think he's one of the top 3 quickest players in the Premier League at full flow. He is rapid. When he plays at the back, don't worry about it. Problem is, you take that out the back, teams are going to like this. This is my worry. I'm allowed to say I'm worried, right?
Of course.
This is my worry, is that teams will get in behind time and time and time again. I'm not talking about a halfway line, high line, just any high line. Yeah. Teams are going to get in behind again. And Dyer and... If Dyer and Royale play at centre-half together with Pedro Porro, who can't defend at right-back. Pedro Porro is a very good footballer, by the way, but he can't defend. Can't defend at all. It's going to be a very long day. But of the 3 games that we don't have Romero for, this has got to be the one that you're looking at and saying, this is the best chance of 3 points for me.
Yeah.
You've got Wolves. Then you've got Villa at home. Villa aren't good away, but with this high line, without Van der Ven and Romero, if you're Watkins, Diaby, Zaniolo, and Bailey, you're thinking, right, just play it to us quickly. Just counter, right? And then we've got Man City away. Well, I don't care what anyone says. This high line against Man City, without Van der Ven and Romero, our goal difference is going to take a severe hammering that day. I think if we can keep them to 3, I'd be happy.
Oh, listen, I hear that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting, and that's the thing. We don't know what your manager's going to do based on who's going to be available, but let's wait and see. It'll be interesting to catch up next week after the Wolves game, because he could surprise you. Do you know what I mean? He could come out, end up playing some of the young boys, and you go there and you smash them anyway.
I hope so.
Then, do you know what I mean? Like, it's possible. So we'll have to see. Like, with the way your manager is, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play one of the young players.
I hope
He doesn't strike me as the kind of manager that's going to try and, like, do you know what I mean, squeeze water out of a stone. He's made it clear that he doesn't see Eric Dyer as a player that can play his system. So I'd be very surprised if he doesn't bring in one of the young
Phillips
players.
will play. I think if anyone's going to play, it's going to be Phillips over Dorrington.
Right.
If Ashley Phillips plays, listen, I think from the highlights I've seen of him, because he's only played 8 games for Blackburn, by the way. This isn't a guy who's played a whole season or anything.
Sure.
I'm just gutted for him if he starts that he wasn't able to bed in alongside a Van der Ven or a Romero, that he's had to bed in with a Dyer. And there's going to be a lot of emphasis on Ashley Phillips in that recovery. It's a big ask in your first Premier League game. But
massive.
I hope it's him. I don't want to see Emerson Royal. Emerson Royal's going to have to play left back, by the way. You know, we've got no left backs fit.
That's crazy, but he's coming into a confident team, though. When you're coming into a confident team that's playing well, it's probably the best kind of team to come into.
Yeah, but not with 3 of your back 4 out.
No,
you've got to remember: no Udogie, no Van der Ven, no Romero. I think it will be. And there's not many options. I think it's going to be Pedro Porro at right back, even though he was limping at the end of the game. Pedro Porro at right back. I think it will be Eric Dyer and Ashley Phillips. And I think it will be Emerson Royal at left back. That's what I think he'll have to do, unless he surprises us with something. And good luck to the lads. And all I can say is, I am so glad that Pedro Neto is injured at the moment. Because him flying at our high line, I would crap myself if I.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's a problem. He's an absolute problem. So I get it.
Yeah. Look, I do need to jump, Rad. So sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. We're gonna wrap the show up now. Anyway, big up everyone inside, man. Big show. Make sure you subscribe to Football Heritage TV. The link is in the title. And yeah, man, back again tomorrow. We got Deluded and maybe Matisse as well at 2:00, and then Lee Gunner at 5. People. You get me? So big day tomorrow. I haven't seen that Messi Zidane interview, but I'm probably going to go watch that now so we can talk about that tomorrow, people. So smash the like on the way out, and I'll